The binding buddy ruler is the perfect ruler for making binding strips quickly and accurately, whether you cut straight of grain binding or you like to cut bias binding. This particular ruler cuts 2.5-inch strips. We also make one that cuts 2.25-inch strips. So binding for 2.5-inch will be something that looks about like this, that's cut straight of grain. Or for 2.25, it's a little bit of a smaller binding, which will look something like this. So let's show you how to cut binding strips quickly and accurately in both straight of grain and bias. To cut a straight of grain binding strip 2.5 inches wide, just make sure the edge of your fabric is squared up. Simply place the ruler against the edge of your fabric and you're going to just cut a strip. That's going to give you your perfect 2.5-inch strip for straight of grain. Now to cut this, if you wanted bias binding, what you're going to do is take the ruler and look for the end that actually comes to a point. You're going to line that end up on the edge of your fabric like so. And again, it's actually a 2.5-inch wide ruler, so simply just line it up, get your cutter going. There, now we got our bias started. Just reposition the ruler over your last cut, cut again, reposition your ruler over the last cut, and cut again. And you can walk your hand up the ruler as you cut. Let's look what we have here. Perfect bias binding with lots of stretch to it, and perfect at 2.5 inches. So either 2.5 or 2.25 inches for the June Tailor binding buddy ruler.